What's up, guys? It's your boy Jalen here on another episode of Elevated Minds. We have our mans here once again, Daniel Fox, our dating and relationships expert here. And we really want to go into another topic. These are things that women are dealing with, and things that women don't know about men that men really wish that women knew about them when you're dating. So we're going to actually go over some things that men actually wish that women knew when they're dating and in relationships.
Let's do it. First of all, we are doing God's work here, right? Like, let's just get down to business. Like, as I'm making this list, I don't like, there's an iron curtain between the sexes where you're just like, I really don't know what you're thinking. And you can have female friends and you can have like confidants and moms and everything. But when it comes down to it, you can't check in with everybody. You're not even sure that the words that you're using are mean the same thing as the words that they're using. Right. So this talk about it never ends, right? This talk about like, how do women think about this? How do men think about this? Like, we really are struggling in two really different bodies and brains to come up with common ground. And so that's why I love what we're doing. That's why we have some job security, at least before maybe AI comes and figures everything out for us. But today, I love that you're down with this. I wanted to talk about like stuff that men wish women knew on dates, like specifically kind of as you're getting to know each other, as you're dating, like what do we wish women knew? And some of this will apply even if you're not dating. Some of this will apply for women and men who are in relationships. But I got the first one, and it might be the most offensive one.
Oh, so let's do it.
So we'll go out of the gate with shush. This does not apply to everybody, but this is something that is really interesting. If a woman is talking all the time, there are two ways that a man can engage with it. He can tune her out, or he can like track with it. Now, presence is our gift as men. Like we bring our full attention and our full presence, yes. And that's part of our mature expression of masculine energy. And so if our presence is being requested for some bullshit, it's very draining. It's very irritating. And so specifically on a date, I think what I would like women to know is share things that are important to you in ways that are thoughtful and considerate, that I'm bringing my full attention to it. If you want to talk about some stuff that your boss said that was negative and like some office drama, just understand that I'm bringing my full attention, my full awareness to that. And that's now how I'm seeing and conceptualizing you. Like, oh, this woman talks a lot about negativity and office drama, or details that don't seem relevant to anybody making progress in the world. And mind you, we're progress-minded individuals. We're problem-solving individuals. So the fact that Casey wore like her slightly off pink heels with the very bright pink socks, no bearing on our ability to like solve an actual problem in real time in real life. And so be mindful of what you share, knowing that a mature man is going to bring his full attention to the conversation.
Absolutely. I can definitely attest for this one. I've had relationships in the past where I would have women that would love to call and just talk. And, and it's good to pay attention. Like you said, presence is our gift. It's literally our gift as men. And but say, your girl calls you, while you're at work, or while you're with a client or whatever it might be, something that's really important that requires all of your attention, and she calls you, what so-and-so said to me, and they said they wore the same heels that I wore today, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I can't, like, my attention can't even really go to that right now. Like right now, I'm trying to be on my mission and on my grind. And so if you're going to call to tell me about something, I would hope that it's going to be, like you said, something of value or something of progression or something that's going to be better for us or something that you're really interested in that you love or something that brings you passion. Otherwise, for the guys in this situation, that's going to be a time where you have to just tell your girl, hey, I really love the fact that you're calling me. Like, I love that you wanted to have this conversation with me. Fortunately, babe, I got to get back to work. I got to get back to whatever I'm doing here. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Let's finish this conversation later. It doesn't have to be you blow her off, because sometimes it could be like a conversation where it's like, yo, is she really talking to me about this right now? but that's a situation where you can take your loving leadership and say, hey, thank you for calling me. Love to hear your voice right now. I just got to get back to what I'm doing. And do that in a loving way. It doesn't have to be you be a dick about it.
So men have focused awareness and women have diffuse awareness. So as a woman comes to age and she is enculturated in femininity in the world, she's going to be around other women who can tolerate, accept, celebrate, be with a lot of detail and a lot of talk that doesn't necessarily go anywhere, because the way that the female physiology is, it can handle and juggle a number of different inputs. So if you've ever heard that women are better multitaskers, this is what that gets at. There's an awareness of the environment and of things that's just diffuse. She's just kind of aware of everything. Whereas a man, especially when he's like, after a workout or after you're like really focused, when you're like in your
zone,
you're on one thing. You're in a flow state and the world just kind of disappears. So in the states where we're in our most polarized, he's mostly in his most masculine and she's most in her feminine. Her awareness is going to be around a lot of things, and his awareness is going to be very, very penetrative and very focused. So women don't necessarily understand this when they go on a date with another whole different type of being, right? He's a whole different person from a woman, and he's not supposed to be a woman, and he's not a good woman. He's never going to be a good woman. And so to expect him to have the same kind of patience that your girlfriend or your mom have when you're sharing a lot of details, that expectation is going to lead to disappointment, and disappointment, if it's not addressed, is alienation. So part of the God's work that we're doing here is, this is how men process things. If you have an expectation that they're different, it's gonna lead to some bad stuff. So maybe walk back your expectation that men can handle the level of detail that you put out into the world. It might go better for you.
The men wish that women knew is that appreciation is the man's universal love language. For example, like I said, I'm just reading all these different articles that men have been posting, and they're saying that when a woman appreciates, because a guy we want to do things, we want to do these things for you, we want to serve, we want to make you happy, we want to fulfill the needs and wants that you have. But when the feeling is like more of entitlement, or like you just deserve this just because, then and there's no appreciation factor in there, the guy is not gonna probably want to do as many things for you because he doesn't feel appreciated. And so what the guys were saying, that's something that they really wish that women knew. Appreciation is the man's universal love language. If you show a man appreciation, he's gonna do more things for you and more things for you and more things for you, because he feels like you really appreciate, you really are showing that you care and you are very grateful for the things that he's doing. So women, if you want to experience a man doing more things for you, show him some appreciation, and it doesn't have to be in a huge gesture way. It's just showing that you see what he's doing, you see his efforts, and you're grateful for it,
Now, this goes at something even deeper, which is when a woman emotes anything, when she shares emotion, that's actually part of this polarity design, that a man will be connected to the vulnerable expression of that emotion. If the emotion is appreciation for some stuff that he just did, boom, that is even better. Like, that's the best. But a man, it rivals. This is interesting. I'd be curious to as to what you think about this. As a man grows up, I'm talking about the bedroom right now, he takes just as much joy in her pleasure as he does in his own.
Oh yes, absolutely. I can attest for this myself, because it's like think of it as, as we are goal-driven creatures. We love to, that's like a goal. That can be a goal for us. Like, making sure that she's pleasured, she's reached her orgasm, her body is happy, and it's got all this needs fulfilled. That's something that we can strive for as a goal in the bedroom. That's something that all men can actually attest to together. If you are really pleasing your woman to like the fullest extent, that's a feeling that you can't really explain. It's like accomplishment, it's joy, it's literally a completion. Like, I got my woman there. Like, that's huge, and it feels good. It's like gratifying in its own way. In the inverse, a man that is not able to please his woman, you're not gonna feel adequate in a way. You'll feel some type of way, the fact that you put some efforts out there, you weren't able to get your woman where she needed to be sexually, or you couldn't meet her needs sexually, and that's gonna be a huge blow to your ego, and it's really just not gonna make you feel as much of a man. So, and I can say, as I've gotten older as well, I'm making sure she's finishing first. Like, I'm not even thinking about the finish line yet. I want to make sure she's good, And I just think that especially as I've gotten older, I've paid more attention to that. I think a lot of men, as they're a little bit younger, like I think we talked about this before in another episode, but sometimes men can be a little quick to get to the finish line, or quick to get done on their end. And then they might not have enough energy to make sure the woman gets her part. And guys, we are still like we talked about before, we are to be leading in the bedroom as well, to make sure that she's gonna get her pleasure. That's something that we should be doing. And just like I said, it's like a goal. You know what I'm saying? It's like a goal that you can accomplish, and you feel amazing when you get there.
Yeah. I want to put some concrete terms around this for people that maybe haven't heard it. It's very important that we as men set the standard very high for pleasure for her in the bedroom. And that is not only the amount of time that we spend, but it is the skill level and what we spend doing. And it's our ability also to control when we're done. And the ability to delay that, and the ability to come back from that. I was having a conversation recently with a woman whose expectations were around 6 hours.
Oh, wow.
And I was surprised, and I thought, well, why wouldn't I take that on? If it happens to be less, then it can be less. But what I really want to do, is deliver as much pleasure as long as I possibly can, so that I can be in service and I can experience this sublimation, this sublime feeling that comes when a masculine man is around a woman experiencing her pleasure. It is pleasurable for me in a different, almost spiritual way. But the goal really is like whatever you thought the goal was. I mean, if it was 6 hours already, then, don't multiply it by 6. But whatever you thought the goal was, multiply it by 6. I'm going to be 6 times more attentive. I'm going to go 6 times longer. And there are things that you actually do so that you can cultivate that, so that you can practice that. These are details around how you would interact in the bedroom that probably aren't appropriate for social media platforms, but they can be learned and they should be studied.
I totally agree, because this area here, a lot of people actually do have issues in the sexual area, and we all talk about it. Sex isn't everything, but it is a huge part of a relationship. It's the bonding, it's the emotional, the emotional component. It's actually the spiritual component. It's a lot of these things tied together, and what keeps you guys actually bonded in that spiritual sense. And so if someone's unable to meet someone's needs sexually, somewhere down the line it's going to be an issue, or they're going to look elsewhere, or you know what I'm saying, they're going to try and find a way to meet their needs themselves or through someone else. And to totally avoid that, there's education. We can learn about this. We can actually learn to be better lovers. We can learn to be more assertive in bed if the woman wants more assertiveness. We can learn how to do different techniques. We can learn Kegels. We can learn ways to suppress premature ejaculation. There's all types of different things that we can do. It's like, but what are we going to do? Are we going to actually take the time to do it, or are we going to complain and say, oh, that's the blame on the woman, or whatever else circumstances? You know, we can only blame so much. But if you can learn to be a better lover and learn how to cultivate new techniques and new things to be better, I feel like as men, that's something that we should want to do. If you're doing your part, then you're going to have a lot more happier women in this world.
You know what this a great metaphor for this is? It's cooking. And I know that you love to cook, but like let's just say the two rooms of the house that have a lot of similarity in this way are the bedroom and the kitchen. Because you don't eat all the time, but when you do, you want to make sure you nail it. And when you bring her the plate of food, when you bring her whatever she's going to eat, you feel the enjoyment and the satisfaction of having been able to serve her something that's going to bring her nourishment and pleasure to her body. And if she goes, if she's emoting like that, that does something to you on an instinctual level as a chef, as a man. And so it's really similar in the bedroom. Maybe we just talk about cooking the rest of the show, and everybody understand what we're talking about between the lines. At the same time, you don't make if you nail a bolognese, you don't make that for every meal. You got a really good bolognese, but let's say you want to bring some Greek flavors into it. Let's say you want to bring some umami, some Asian flavors into it. Like, work on your technique so that when you show up, you've got it nailed. You're getting better at it. You're in a dialogue with her taste buds.
Yes.
And you can serve her something, and that is really what we're talking about. That's the essence of being a man in the bedroom, is knowing your stuff, knowing actual skill, actual just knowledge and tips and what to do, showing up with an attitude of service, being able to go all the way through, follow all the way through with it. And then when you deliver, you actually feel the nourishment through her. You feel the enjoyment of having served well through her pleasure, through her emoting satisfaction.
And any man that's watching this right now, I definitely challenge you to try what we're talking about here, because I feel like your your cooking game will will be off the charts, and you will have the woman that's in your life that you're dealing with. She will want more and more of that, of your cooking. So, even the best chefs in the world, they got to learn how, new techniques. They have to stay updated. They have to practice. They have to keep their skills up and continue to get better. It's not just about, this is good. This is good where I'm at. I know how to make Italian cuisine. I know how to make some soul food. That's good enough. But if you can start to add some variety, like you said, add some Asian flavors, add some Mexican flavors. You got some Indian flavors. You got all different types of cuisines that you can add to this plate, that you can add to your dishes. You could be serving a different type of meal every single day of the week, or however many times you guys need to eat.
It's a good metaphor when you're like just rolling with it. You're like, yeah, this works.
It works great.
I want to, as I move to the second point on my list, I want to clarify that the advice that we give has two caveats to it. One is that this is addressing a mature masculine man most of the time. So as a woman, we're talking about a mature, like relatively healthy masculine man. Second of all, this is also behavior that will draw out the maturity and masculinity in any man who's close enough to that where it can be drawn out of. If a man is like super boyish, super needs to be served, or just super hurt or ill-attuned, it's going to be hard to draw out his masculinity, his natural desire to serve. But you can do it. You can polarize a man to serve you and to show up with provision, protection, and presence if he's close enough to that vibration that he can kind of get there. So this is those are the two caveats about the stuff that we have, because this next one is on a date. What's something that men want women to know? Mature masculine men want women to know on a date. Ask for help. Ask us for help, right? So we love solving problems, and when we're asked in respectful ways to make things better, we rise to the occasion. And whether, this is something that I'm going to let the ladies in on a secret. We know you can do everything already on your own.
Surprise!
Yeah, we know you're competent. We know you can do it. But what good is it being in a relationship with somebody with whom there's no transaction, with whom there's no relating in service and need? And so in order for us to serve, in order for men to be in their instinct, we need to have something to serve. We need to have a need to meet. And so it's actually a gift to us when you ask us for help.
Yes. And I just watched a video about this. There's a woman that's teaching women about being more feminine, how to be more in their femininity. And one of the things that she was saying is she used this example. She was all about the nails, the getting her hair done, the makeup, all this stuff. She's like, this was what she thought was being a feminine woman. And her boyfriend at the time, one day he sat her down to talk with her. He's like, hey, I really would like you to be more feminine. And she was like, I don't get it. Like, what do you mean? I make my own money. I do this. I dress nice. I make sure all this is done. But he's like, you don't let me do anything for you. You don't let me solve anything for you. You don't let me, be the man in your life. And that, it really just like had a light bulb moment for me. I was like, wow, but we really are solvers, and we are service providers. We love to do things for our woman. And so if a woman is to a point to where she's so independent to the point where she's not allowing the man to, help you, to step in, to lift something for you, to bring you something, or to do something to make your day a little bit better, to figure something out for you that you have an issue with. Allow us to do that. Allow us to actually bring that masculinity to you, and you'll see that in doing that, you're going to feel more feminine, because you're allowing yourself to just sit back in your femininity, and allowing him to bring that energy to you, to show you that masculinity, and you're going to feel that. That's an automatic polarization. And so I think the whole thing is, let us do these things for you. If you need help, don't feel some type of way about asking us for it. We're talking about the healthy man. We're talking about a healthy masculine man, generally healthy masculine man. If this is going to be natural, this is going to be a natural part of us to come out if you just let it.
I'm thinking about a woman. Just a couple of experiences that I had when I was younger. Let's call this 23, 24, 25, kind of younger man. And there's something that would happen when you would try to serve a woman, and she'd be repulsed or repelled. And you could almost see like that it wasn't her, it was this trauma reaction that was just coming out. Mm-hmm. And we just have to acknowledge and respect that, like, there have been many women, most women, all women, probably happy to draw a circle around every single woman has experienced a man's service being an unspoken request for something that she has not been told about and has probably no interest in giving. So just imagine, you're approached on the street and somebody says, "Oh, you look nice today," and they have a clipboard. You're like, well, immediately that compliment goes out the window because you know that they want something from you. So as a man who is showing up in service, we have to recognize that most women, most of the time, only experience a gift as a prerequisite for some kind of taking. And so if they're self-aware enough to see, okay, I'm doing this so I can get something, then that's priority number one. It's like, how can I resolve this in myself so that I can just show up and just give a gift and not expect anything? And then even when you resolve that, you're still dealing with a world with everybody else in it who has these traumas, who most of their experiences are, no one gives anything for free. They always want something back in return. In the case of a masculine man, what he wants back in return is to be aligned with loving service. And that has nothing to do with how the compliment lands or the gift lands or the service lands. It's just his own alignment. He does it to be in alignment, in integrity with himself, his body, his purpose.
Absolutely. And when it comes to this whole situation, I feel that men experience a lot of women say that this is something that a lot of women deal with. When a lot of men do things for them, they usually are expecting, I'm expecting sex because I went ahead and bought this for her. Or I'm expecting this grand thing from this woman, or a kiss, or whatever it might be. Like, a lot of men do things for out of expectation of something they want in return. And so I can only imagine a lot of women have this issue if you've always gone down the line, men want to do something for you, to give you a drive home or whatever it might be, buy you a snack on your lunch break, not just to be nice. Because there's some men in this world that really will just want to be good men and just show you some love, show you some appreciation, want nothing else in return but to just do what he does. This is just what he does. But there are, like I said, there are a lot of men that do things for the fact that they want something in return. So I can understand both of these scenarios here. I can understand why some women are more on the guarded side when it comes to dating relationships. They might not want the man to do something for them because they feel that, okay, if I let this guy do this for me, or if I let him provide this service for me, what does he want from me in return for him to do this? And I can definitely understand. But in this situation, it's going to be really look at traits. Is the guy doing things for you and then say, so what are you going to do for me? Or is he doing things, does he make you feel some type of way because he's doing those things? Or is he showing up and just being a loving person and he's just doing these things for you? That's something that is going to be taking women to look at. Maybe if a man is being weird about it, or he's being really pushy, or really like, I did this, I should have never did this for you because, those types of men you might want to stay away from. It's not all of us. We're not all that way. We're not all in that boat. But I will say to women, I understand that there are some that you have to look out for in that situation, in that type of sense. But long story short, in our nature, we want to be of service. We want to give. And it's not. Sometimes it's not even just to women. It's to people in general. But I would say to women, don't sacrifice your femininity here and just totally ruin chances of you meeting a good masculine man that really wants to give you his attention, his love, his presence, his all because of something that you've experienced from someone else, or a few other people that have shown this type of aggressive behavior. Don't let that deter you from actually finding a man that actually wants to give you these things and really wants to do this for you because of who he is as a man.
Yeah. I'm going to make this really simple for people. There's a nice guy and there's a kind man. And the nice guy isn't worth shit because the nice guy does things to get something in return. He's baiting an outcome. He's baiting an acknowledgement. He's doing whatever he's doing in order to receive acknowledgement so that he can feel better. It's coming from a place of needing something. Now, a kind man may do the same thing. Let's say you walk into a 7-Eleven, you see somebody and and they don't have enough money for a granola bar, so you pay the money for the granola bar. That's the outcome. They're both doing that same thing, but a kind man will do it because it's aligned with his character. He wants nothing back. He doesn't want her number. He doesn't want them to say thank you. They could walk away and just give him the finger, and it doesn't matter because the motivation is, I am enough. I'm here to serve. Here you go. And so the distinction is really clear. If somebody wants something from the gift, it's not a gift. It's a request for some kind of acknowledgement. But a masculine man will show up in service, and he'll be clear about if he wants something in return. You know, I'm not saying that men have to just give and give and give. We do transactions too, but we're clear about what those transactions are, and we will let you know at the outset, I'm happy to pay for this, but I want your number in return. And that's not a gift, that's a transaction. He's letting his intention be known, but that's different than a guy showing up and paying for a candy bar, and then you give him the finger, and then he's crushed, right? Because he really needed whatever was on the other side of that compliment to happen.
Man, I couldn't have said that any better. Like, a lot of people don't know the difference between like a good man or a kind man and a nice guy. And I think that's where a lot of women get confused, or they end up in those situations. They're dealing with a nice guy and not a kind man or a good man, you know. And you really hit that on the nail. Nice guys, they want something in return, but the thing is that the whole difference is they're not open about it. They're actually very secretive about it. They're very, I'm going to do this for you, and I really just want to do this. I want to, give you this, blah blah blah. And then he finds out that you're talking to another guy or whatever, or actually in a relationship with another guy, and then he's like, he wants everything back that he's given you. Like, he's cussing you out. He's calling you all types of B's and all types of, he's just selling out. And that right there is an indicator that none of his gestures were genuine. None of them were genuine. And that's why nice guys don't really get the tag of being nice, actually. They actually are manipulative. It's very manipulative. They're coming in, like you said, they're coming from a state of neediness. They're coming from a state of needing validation and having to do things for a woman or people in general to get something. They do these things so that they can get something. That's how they maneuvered. Probably traumas from childhood. They had to do things for people to get the love and the validation and the attention that they needed, and it carried on into their adulthood. And here they are in adult situations, and they have no idea how to actually navigate. They have no idea how to actually get your sexual intention across. Be upfront with your actual intention. Stop being weird. Stop being manipulative, and you actually probably get farther in life. But that's, I think, where a lot of women actually end up with, is dealing with these nice guys instead of being around an actual good masculine man.
I'm going to say something for a very small group of men right now, and that is this. You will 100% believe that you are a kind man until the circumstances that you thought you were serving under change. And then when you get pissed because you didn't get something medium long game, then that is a 100% a chance for you to take responsibility for the fact that you were in a transaction that you didn't recognize, and that your service was in service to self. It wasn't pure service to others. And so that is like what you said. If you show up and you buy her boots, and then you realize a week later she's seeing 3 other guys, and you're like, why the hell did I buy her boots? If you are a kind man, you buy her boots because she would look lovely in the boots. If you're a nice guy, you're buying boots because you're trying to get something, and you think you're just kind, you think you're showing up. But if that information changes and you're like, well, now there's no chance I'm going to get what I wanted. And if you start to feel that resentment afterwards, then that's the path toward your shadow work. That's the work that is available for you to do.
That's right. That's right.
foda, né? Áudio é foda, né? Áudio é foda, né?